Hello students, today we'll start with another chapter, center of gravity and centroid. First we'll understand center of gravity, what we have learned at a previous level. CG of the body is a point at which entire mass or weight of the body is assumed to be concentrated. CG of the body is a unique point, it does not change even whatever way we hold the body. It is represented in the diagram by G. CG of the body may lie on the body or it may lie outside the body. To understand the basic concept of center of gravity, I have taken a body of mass m. I have assumed that it is made up of three small parts or particles having mass m1, and second part having mass m2, third part having mass m3. I have considered it is in two-dimensional reference axis OX and OY. I am assuming that the mass of part 1 is concentrated at distance x1 from y-axis and y1 from x-axis. I mean its coordinates are x1, y1. Mass m2 of the part 2 is concentrated at distance x2 from axis OY and y2 from axis OX. Similarly, x and y coordinates of CG of part 3 are x3 and y3, which are all shown on this diagram. Now, if you go by our previous understanding, to find the x coordinate of CG of this body, we will use the formula m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. Similarly, y coordinate of CG of this body will be m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. What is m1, m2, m3? Once again, we'll understand m1, m2, m3 are the masses of the three particles or three parts. x1, x2, x3 are the x coordinates of the respective CGs of the parts. What is y1, y2, y3 are the y coordinates of the respective CGs of the parts. This is what is our understanding at the previous level. Now we will move to the next slide there. Now, same body. Now I've taken again. This time I'm assuming that this body of mass m is made up of single material having density gamma. Okay. I'm also assuming that it is of uniform thickness T, so that this body can be called as a lamina. What is a lamina? Lamina is a body of uniform thickness is called as lamina. Uniform lamina means the lamina which is made up of one material. So uniform lamina means we have it's like a plate, you can call it as. This is of uniform thickness T and made up of single material with having density gamma. Surface area, total surface area of this body, I am assuming that is say A, that is capital A. I am assuming that surface area of part 1 is A1, part 2 is A2, part 3 is A3. Now, as T is the thickness of this lamina and gamma is the density, now we are coming to the same formula what we used at previous level. X bar is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 divided by m1 plus m2. Now we understand mass is volume into density. Suppose I want to find the mass of part 1. What is going to be the mass of part 1? Volume into density. What is going to be the volume of part 1? A1 into T. Right? What is density? Gamma. So A1 T gamma is the mass of part 1. Similarly, mass of part 2 will be what? What is volume of part 2? A2T. What is volume of part 3? A3 into T. Just multiply with the density. So mass of part 2 is A2T gamma. Mass of part 3 is A3T gamma. Now we'll substitute the value of M1, M2, M3 in the same formula. Here we have substituted. Now you can see that I have substituted the value of M1, M2. M1 is A1T gamma. M2 is A2T gamma. M3 is A3T gamma. All right. And here we have substituted the value of M1, M2, M3. I have taken T gamma outside. A1 plus A2 plus A3. Now we take T gamma common from the numerator. T gamma is already taken from the denominator. T gamma gets cancelled. So what you get it? A1 x1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 x3 upon A1 plus A2 plus A3. Or we can call it as equal to summation AX upon summation A. Now students, at previous level you use this formula. All right. Now, if my body is of uniform thickness and it's made up of single material with density gamma, I don't need to know what it is thickness. I don't need to know what is the material, but still I can locate x and y coordinates of CG. I can locate x and y coordinates of CG only by knowing the surface area properties. But condition is what here? That body should be of uniform thickness and it should be made up of single material. So x bar and y bar, which are given by x bar, is this. Identically, we can prove that y bar is a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 upon a1 plus a2 plus a, or we can say summation ay and summation a. So this shows that x and y coordinates of CG of this body will be same using these two formulae, right? Will be same as what we get it based on mass property. So we don't need to know the thickness part. Without knowing the thickness of the body, without knowing the material of the body or density of the material, still we can arrive at x and y coordinates of CG of this body. Now, we'll understand what is centroid and what way it is different from center of gravity. The word CG is used for the bodies. As we already defined, I define once again, CG of the body is a point at which entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. The word centroid is used for surface area or entire area, composite area. So the point at which the entire area of the figure is assumed to be concentrated is called as centroid of that area. All right. Again, I repeat that word centroid is used for composite area and the CG is used for the body. Students, now as for our engineering applications, we come across the bodies which are of uniform thickness. The bodies which are of uniform thickness and which are mostly of single material. So we don't need to use our physics formula to find x bar and y bar, right? That is x bar is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 m3, or y bar m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 divided by m1 plus m2 f plus m3. We can use our surface area based formula. X bar is equal to x bar is summation ax upon summation a. Y bar is summation as it is proved in the previous this part. Now, the only thing is that you have to know the surface area properties. You can locate the centroid based on surface area properties, and you can mark the CG of the body. You simply need to go inside the body at half thickness through centroid. So once based on surface area properties, we have located the centroid, x bar and y bar, we'll mark it on the surface of the body, and CG will be exactly inside that same position of centroid at half thickness. All right. So x and y coordinates of CG and centroid will be same. So still we will be in a position to find the CG of the body without knowing its material. So we don't need to use the mass-based CG formula. We can use area-based centroid formula, and still it will serve our purpose in engineering studies, because most of the engineering in engineering applications, we come across the bodies which are of uniform thickness and which are made up of single material. Like, for example, whatever we come across for our engineering applications, whether it is timber, it is of uniform thickness, it is timber only. Glass, it is of uniform thickness, made up of glass. Steel plate, it will be of steel, it will be of uniform thickness, or any other tiles or anything, whatever you come across, most of the things are of uniform thickness and they are made up of same material. Well, as we will be using centroid formula based on area. So we need what we are going to do. The given composite area will be splitted into simple areas. The given composite area will be splitted into simple areas, and then we will be applying the formula x bar is equal to summation ax upon summation a, y bar is equal to summation ay upon summation a. Commonly, we come across these standard figures for our application. First is rectangle. Can you see that? Rectangle is a base with b and height h. So where will be the centroid of that? Using common sense, you can understand centroid of this figure or center of this figure will lie at mid height and mid width. So it is b. So b by 2, h, so h by 2, h by 2. Now come to square. It is of size b, b by b. Area is b into b square. Area of rectangle was b into h. Centered square will lie mid width and mid height. Now, here you have seen that we need to understand any axis that passes through the centroid is called as centroidal axis. Any axis that passes through the centroid is called as centroidal axis. Horizontal centroidal axis is referred as xx. Vertical centroidal axis is referred as yy. In case of isosceles triangle, this will be one centroidal axis, which will be at b by 2. Another centroidal axis will be at 1/3 of its height from the base. Students, the derivation that centroid of triangle of any shape lies at 1/3 of its height from the base has been given in my book, all right, which you can refer it later. But right now we will not be taking up the derivation. We will be straight away going to the application part. So this I have derived it in my book. Right now for application, for solving problems, as our subject is problem-oriented subject, problem-based subject. So we are mainly focusing on the application part or solving more and more problems in my lectures rather than explaining you the theory part of it. So you'll remember that centroid or triangle of any shape lies at 1/3 of its height from the base. But we apply this property only on the base which is horizontal or which is vertical. I mean, you'll never apply this property on the slant base. Why you'll not apply in slant base? Because we are going to work in a rectangular coordinate system. In rectangular coordinate system, you will be reading the coordinates in x and y directions. So use of this property will be only when you are applying this property on the base which is horizontal or which is vertical. So one of the standard figure is isosceles triangle. In case of the isosceles triangle, one centroidal axis yy is due to symmetry and other is at 1/3 of its height. Height is h, so it is at h by 3. Now come to the right angle triangle. In case of the right angle triangle is of base width b and height h. With respect to this base, since it is horizontal, centroidal axis will be parallel to it. It is at what distance? 1/3 of its height. Total height is at h by 3. This side can also be taken as a base, right? Height is then b. So centroidal axis will be parallel to it at distance b by 3. If it is b by 3, b minus b by 3 is 2b by 3. Or similarly here, h minus h by 3 is 2h. So this is another standard figure, standard triangle, what we use it while solving the problems of centroid. Again, I repeat, in case of the triangle, these are the only two triangles which we take it as standard figures. One is isosceles triangle, another is right angle triangle. No other triangle can be taken as standard figure. Otherwise, you'll have the problem of locating the centroid. Next standard figure is circle. Circle, obviously, the area is pi r square and center of circle is going to be its centroid. Now come to semicircle. In case of semicircle, one centroidal axis will be dividing it into two parts and other centroidal axis will be at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from the base. Derivation of this part 4r upon 3 pi is again given in the book, which I'm not covering right now. You can refer to the book, you'll understand the derivation easily. So in case if you are using semicircle as a standard figure, you can remember that centroid of semicircle lies at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from the base, and other centroidal axis is nothing but axis of symmetry. Now next area of the semicircle will be pi r square by 2. Now we come to quarter circle. In case of the quarter circle of radius r, area is going to be pi r square by 4. So both the centroidal axis will be at distance 4r upon 3 pi from base. This is one base, 4r upon 3 pi. One central axis parallel to this base. Another central axis parallel to this vertical base is also 4r upon 3 pi. So in case of the quarter circle, you'll remember it like this. Centroid of quarter circle is at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from each base. Now students, you are given with a composite area. You want to find the centroid of that composite area. So what you will do? You will split that into simple figures like this: rectangle, triangle, circle, semicircle, etc. You'll mark the centroid of each component based on the understanding what we have generated now. Then you'll be applying the formula to find x bar, x coordinate of centroid of that area, a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3 divided by a1 plus a2 plus a3, and similarly y bar will be summation ay upon summation a. Students, you all know very well how to find the area of these components, like rectangle is b into h, triangle is half into b into h, circle is pi r square, semicircle is pi r square by 2. Little difficulty what you all come across in reading the coordinates of centroid of various components when you are given with the composite area and you are given with the reference axis from which the centroidal distances are to be measured. Now, important points related to centroid. Few points I have already marked it. Already we have discussed that. Some points when we come across the problems, then will be discussed and will be better understood. Like one term which you can understand it here is axisymmetry, which we already use. Axisymmetry is the line that divides the area into two equal parts so that one part is mirror image of the other. Axisymmetry is always centroidal axis. Axisymmetry is always a centroidal axis. As in the standard figure slide also we have seen this. We have seen that in this part, you can see that this is axisymmetry only, right? This is also axis of symmetry. Here, this is axisymmetry. This is axisymmetry. This is axisymmetry. In case of circle, both are axis of symmetry only. In case of semicircle, this is axis of symmetry. All right. Now, here I have taken a diagram in which I have shown the reference axis x and y. Also, I have shown number of figures for which I'll explain to you how to read the coordinates. See, first of all, you should understand that if I'm just see that here. This is origin. This is x reference axis. This is y reference axis. That means, what does it mean? In two-dimensional coordinate system, x coordinate is measured right of y axis positive, left of y axis negative. Can we remember it like this? This is your first quadrant. Rather than remembering it as first quadrant, you remember it that x coordinate is measured from y axis, right of y axis positive, left of y axis negative. Hope everybody understands. Now, y coordinate is measured from x axis, above x axis positive, below x axis negative. This way you should remember it rather than getting involved with quadrant. In which quadrant it is there, never go for reading the coordinates in that way. Again, I repeat, x coordinate is measured from y axis, right of y axis positive, left of y axis. Y coordinate is measured from x axis, above x axis positive, below x axis. Now here, let's take up component number 1. This component number 1 is a square of side 3 by 3 centimeter. Now, it is at a distance of 1.5 centimeter below. Centroid is marked here. This is also at 1.5 centimeter. So what will be x and y coordinates of this point? Thus, you can see that is this point right of y-axis by 1.5? So its x coordinate will be plus 1.5. This point is right of y-axis by 1.5 centimeters. So x coordinate is plus 1.5. What will be its y coordinate? Is it below x-axis by 3 or not? 1.5 plus 1.5. It is below x-axis, so y coordinate is minus 3. Come to second component. In case the second component is this quarter circle, which is resting on x-axis. Its two centroidal axis will be 4r upon 3 pi from each base, from this parallel to this 4r upon from this base 4r upon. This is its centroid. Now let's read coordinates of this point. This point, is it right of y-axis or not? So x coordinate is positive. At what distance this point is? 3 plus 4r upon 3 pi, that becomes its x coordinate. Its y coordinate is going to be, the point is above x-axis, so it is plus 4r upon 3 pi. Okay. We come to component number 3. In case of the component number 3 is an isosceles triangle of base width 4 and height 4. Its centroid, one centroidal axis will be axisymmetry. Other centroidal axis will be at a distance of h by 3 from base. This is its base, height is 4, so it is at 4 by 3. Now you have to read the coordinates of this point. So you have to mark the centroid of each component when you are solving the problem of centroid of composite. Then only you will be reading the coordinates of the centroid of various components. Now, this is the point for which you have to read the coordinate. Is this point right of y-axis or not? Yes. So x coordinate is positive. It is at what distance away from y-axis? Just you can see that this is 3, 4, 7 plus 2. 9. So plus 9. 3 plus 4 plus 2. Y coordinate, this point is below x-axis. So y coordinate will be negative. What is that? 2 plus 4 by 3. Y coordinate is negative, 2 plus 4 by 3 below x axis. That's why it is minus. Now we come to component number 4. Here I have selected the figures in such a way that all standard figures have been included. All standard figures have been included so that you know, understand how to mark the coordinates of centroid of component and how to read the coordinates. Now this is your component number 4. It's a rectangle of base width 4 and height 3. Now centroid is mid width, mid height 4 by 2, 2 and 3 by 3, 3 by 2, 1.5. This is now the centroid of this rectangle. This point is left of y axis. So x coordinate is negative, minus 2. This point is above x axis, plus 1.5. Then we come to component number 5. Component number 5 is a right angle triangle. Base width 3, height is 4. With respect to this base, height is 4, centroidal distance is 4 by 3. And with respect to this base, this height is 3, so it is 3 by 3. Now you have to write the coordinates of this point. This point is definitely left of y axis, so x coordinate will be negative. कैसे निकालेंगे? 4 plus 1 plus 3. 4 plus 1, 5 plus 3, 8 minus 1. So it is minus 7. You see here, minus 7. Y coordinate is measured from x axis. This point is above x axis, so y coordinate is positive. Above what? 1.5 plus 4 by 3. 1.5 plus 4 by 3, that is positive since it is above axis. Now we come to the last component, that is what is semicircle. For this semicircle, base width, its diameter is 4 centimeter and its centroid, this is going to be one centroidal axis, dividing it 2 parts. Another centroidal axis is at a distance of 4 upon 3 pi from base. Now this is the point for which centroid is to be measured. This point, is it left of x axis, y axis or not? So x coordinate is negative. How will you measure it? 4 plus 1, 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 10. So it is minus 10. 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2. This is minus 10 is x coordinate. Y coordinate, is it below x axis or not? Since it is below x axis, point is below x axis, y coordinate is negative. How do you find it? 1.5 plus 4r upon 3 pi minus, since below x axis, 1.5 plus 4r upon 3. All right. Hope you have understood. Now we are ready to start with the problems, friends. We are ready to start with the problems. Now you are given with first problem, which is a composite area which is in the shape of letter F, which is in the shape of letter F. This is 100 mm, 150, this is 25, 50, all these dimensions of this are given. You have to find centroid of this composite area. You need to split it into simple areas. You need to split it into simple areas. Kaise simple areas? So that we can apply the formula x bar is equal to summation ax upon summation a and y bar is equal to summation ay upon summation a. You do the calculations in a tabular format. Now to find x bar and y bar, you'll have a table with 6 columns. First column will be component, which you'll be deciding. A stands for area of component, then units in the bracket. X is x coordinate of centroid of that component. Y is y coordinate of centroid of that component. Then a into x and a into y. Unit should be written in the column. Area unit mm square. X and y will be in mm. Ax and ay will be in mm cube units. Now what way I have divided it into the you can see that यहाँ पे मैंने एक line draw कर दिया, यहाँ पे एक line draw कर दिया. So what I am saying that this is my one component. This is my one component of rectangle of base width 25 and height is 150. I have taken this is at my second component, width 50 and height 25. This is my third component, width 75 and depth 25. So this way we have identified that this composite area F is split it into the 3 simple rectangles. This is rectangle number 1, this is rectangle number 2, this is rectangle number 3. Now you have to mark centroid of each component. अभी कैसे mark करेंगे? ये पहला वाला जो मेरा rectangle है, इसका width कितना है? 25. So centroid will lie at mid width 12.5 from each side. Its height is 150. So it will lie at 150 by 275. देखो मैंने यहाँ पे एक dot करके mark किया, एक dotted line बनाया. This shows that this is the centroid of this component. It is at 75 mm. अभी second component rectangle is at 50 and 25. So 50 का half कितना होगा 25 and 25 half this 12.5. तो ये देखो ये एकदम छोटा सा distance 12.5. Same way component number 3, 75 का half कितना होगा 37.5. Center of the rectangle lies at mid width and mid height. Mid width 75 by 2 37.5 from this end as well as from this end. 25 का half कितना होता है 12.5. So this distance is your 12.5. Yeah. So this way we have marked the centroid of each component. अभी हम टेबल में जाएंगे. टेबल के अंदर कंपोनेंट नंबर 1 क्या है मेरा, ये वाला. इसका एरिया कितना है 25 into 150. देखो ये मैंने लिया and calculator has been used. What is centroid? Now where is the centroid of the component number 1? ये देखो यहाँ पे है, ये रहा, ये इसका this point is right of y-axis. The point is right of y-axis, so x coordinate is positive 12.5 plus 12.5. This point is above x-axis, so y coordinate is positive. It is at what distance above x-axis? 75, so plus 7. Now we come to rectangle 2. This is my rectangle 2. Number 2 देखो इधर लिखा है मैंने सर्कल. What is the area 15 to 25? ये देखो 15 to 25. Now this is the point for which you need to make read the coordinates. The point is right of y-axis. The point is right of y-axis coordinate positive. What is the distance? It is at what distance away from y-axis? This is 25 plus 25 plus 50. This point is above x-axis, so y coordinate is positive. What is that? 50 plus 12.5 plus 62.5. Now we come to component number 3. What is its area? 75 into 25. This is the centroid of this component. This point. This point is right of y-axis, so x coordinate is positive. What is that? 25 plus 37.5, 62.5 positive. Point is above x-axis. Y coordinate is positive. 50 plus 25 plus 50, 125 plus 12.5, 125 plus 12.5 plus 137.5. अभी मैंने तीनों कंपोनेंट का एरिया लिखा. All three components area into x, ax, like this. A into y, it comes in this column. Then you sum up area component. Summation लिखा देखो, इसका summation इतना आएगा. Ax, we sum up a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3. So this becomes then summation a1 plus a2 plus a3. This becomes what? This becomes what? Summation ax, a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3. This becomes what? a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y2. Now come to x bar. X bar is what? Summation ax upon summation a. Summation ax यहाँ से उठा लो. Summation a यहाँ से लिखो 32.9. What is y bar? Is summation ay upon summation a. Summation ay is from here and y is summation a is here. You get 89.7. This way you are located x and y coordinates of centroid, x and y coordinates of centroid of this composite area. And that's what is the problem is asked to you in the examination. Locate the centroid, find the centroid, all right, or find x coordinates of centroid. The question is asked in this manner. All right. Even if they say they give you the composite area and they ask you to locate the centroid or locate the CG, still you will be finding x bar and y bar based on surface area properties of the area. All right. Well, students, we move to now. In the first problem, we had learned how to deal with rectangles. In the second problem, I'm going to come across quarter circle and semicircle. What we are going to come across? Quarter circle and semicircle. He is asking you to find the centroid of shaded area. If I ask you to calculate the centroid of shaded area, how will you find the centroid of shaded area? Very simple question. You'll say, I'll have to take quarter circle as positive and semicircle area has to be subtracted. I have to take quarter circle. You'll ask the shaded area means what? If I ask you to calculate shaded area, you'll say quarter circle area minus semicircle area. So students, same composition, you will be using it in your problems. You will be using it in your problem, right? You'll make a table with 6 columns, component A, X, Y, AX, and AY. Of course, here in the previous problem, units were in mm. Here units are in centimeters. So you'll write here area in centimeter square, X centimeter, Y centimeter, AX centimeter cube, AY centimeter. Now we have drawn the figure again. This is a given diagram. You don't need to draw it. You have to draw this diagram for working. Now you have drawn the given diagram. Then you mark centroid of first quarter circle. Centroid of quarter circle is at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from each base. This is one base of quarter circle. This is 4r upon 3 pi. Radius is 20, 4 into 20 upon 3 pi. This is another base. It is at 4r upon 3 pi. All right. Come to the semicircle. For semicircle, one centroidal axis, its axisymmetry. Axisymmetry means what? 20 is the diameter of semicircle, 10 centimeter from each side. And then another centroidal axis of semicircle will be 4r upon 3 pi from base. 4 into r upon 3 pi. R is what of radius of semicircle is 10. This way, we have marked centroid of both the components. Now, my first component is quarter circle. As we understand that this area is to be taken as positive, so I have written this area pi r square by 4, radius is 20. All right. Centroid of this quarter circle. Now, this is the point for which the coordinates are to be measured. This point is right of y-axis by what distance? 4r upon 3 pi. 4 into 20 upon 3 pi. All right. So x coordinate is positive. And similarly, this point, the centroid of this quarter circle is above x-axis. So that is also plus 4r upon 3 pi. Next, we come to semicircle. In case semicircle area has to be taken as negative, because initially we understood it. See, when we do summation, summation is what? Algebraic sum. Algebraic sum means what? If you have taken quarter circle as bigger area and you have to subtract semicircle, so in the tabular working, whatever area you were subtracting it, that should be taken as negative. So you are taken, if in the working of this table, if you have taken quarter circle full area as positive, then semicircle area has to be taken as negative. So this is, we have taken it negative. So that when you do the algebraic sum of these two areas, you will be getting shaded area. You will be getting shaded area. Now, coordinates are to be read absolutely in the same manner as we were reading for coordinates are to be read as per coordinate geometry. Now, semicircle. Next is semicircle area pi r square by 2. We don't took it minus since it is to be subtracted. This is the centroid of semicircle. It is at what distance? This point is right of y-axis. So x coordinate is positive plus 10. This point is above x-axis by what distance? 4r upon 3 pi. 4 into 10 upon 3 pi. You can use your scientific calculator. You can do all this calculation. A in x and y are obtained. A into x in this column, a into y in the next column. Do the summation of this column, you'll get summation a, a1 plus a2. Do the summation of this column, you'll get summation ax or a1 x1 plus a2 x2. This is ay. So this is summation ay. X bar will be summation ax upon summation a. Y bar is going to be summation ay upon summation a. Put the value of summation ax over here upon summation a from the table. You'll get x bar 6.98 centimeter. Y bar is summation ay. You substitute the value here and summation a over here. You'll get value of y bar. So in this problem, we have understood how to deal with the semicircle as well as quarter circle. All right. Now, again, I repeat the methodology to solve the problems of composite area. The given composite area is split into simple figures, right? The composite area, total area of the figure can be arrived by adding up the components, or you have to take a bigger area positive and you have to subtract the smaller area. Like in the previous problem, we took up the 3 rectangles, but all 3 rectangles are existing. So we added up their area and then we got the area of the composite figure. But in this case, in this problem, he's asking you to find the center of the shaded area. So shaded area can be arrived by taking quarter circle area positive and semicircle area negative. I mean quarter circle minus semicircle. That's why semicircle area has been taken as negative. So many times it is not possible to add up the components to arrive it as a composite area. Like in this problem, it is not possible by adding up the components to arrive at the shaded area. You have to take compulsorily quarter circle minus semicircle. Next problem, again we have to find the centroid of the shaded area. Now in this problem also you have no choice, no options. If I ask you to find the centroid of the shaded area, or I ask you to calculate the shaded area, how will you calculate the shaded area? Shaded area can be arrived only by taking bigger circle minus smaller circle. If I ask you to calculate the shaded area, you have no other choice except to take bigger circle minus smaller circle. So student, that becomes your composition. You will take when you are solving the problem, bigger circle area will be taken as positive, smaller circle area will be taken as negative. Students, in this problem, you will be learning one more thing. What you will be learning is that sometimes when examiner gives you a problem, He gives you the composite area on which you can identify the axis of symmetry. You have learned that axis of symmetry is the line that divides the area into two equal parts so that one part is mirror image of other. Now, in this case, is this axis of symmetry or not? Can you see that? Is this axis of symmetry or not? This line, is it axis of symmetry or not? Axis of symmetry means, suppose I cut this figure into two parts at this axis. So one part will be mirror image of other. Students, mind it, this is not symmetrical about y-axis. Okay, this is symmetrical about x-axis only, because if you cut it, then one part will be mirror image of other. So students, whenever you can locate axis symmetry, you understand how job is done. In this given figure, axis symmetry coincides with x reference axis. So straight away we understand that y bar is 0. Straight away what we understand? Y bar is 0. You can remember it that if axis of symmetry coincides with x reference axis, y bar is 0. I repeat again, if axis of symmetry coincides with x reference axis, y bar will be 0. Once y bar is 0, we need to find only x bar. We need to find only x bar. To find the x bar, you need to make a table with only 4 columns. You need to make a table with only 4 columns. Component A, X, and AX. Now we take bigger circle. Now we can mark the centroid of each circle. Centroid of bigger circle will be coinciding with the origin. Centroid of the bigger circle will be coinciding with the origin. So that means its coordinates of its centroid will be 0, 0 only. Centroid of smaller circle will be here. This is smaller circle is of diameter r, so its radius is r by 2. Its radius is r by 2. Now I have taken bigger circle area plus I have taken pi r square. Smaller circle area radius is r by 2. It is to be subtracted to arrive at shaded area, so I'll take it as minus pi r by 2 whole square minus pi r square by 4. If you add them up, it comes out to be 3 by 4 pi r square. This is nothing but shaded area. This is nothing but when you say summation a1 plus a2, then this should give you the shaded area. So 3 by 4 pi r square plus is the shaded area. Now, x coordinate of centroid of bigger circle, is it coinciding with origin only or not? So x coordinate is 0. So x will be 0. What is the x coordinate of this point? This point is right of y-axis. So x coordinate is positive. What is that? Plus r by 2. What is that? Plus r by 2. So plus r by 2. You can multiply it, minus plus minus. Then it comes minus pi r cube by 8. As due to symmetry, we have already understood y bar is 0, x bar is summation ax upon summation a. Summation ax is minus pi r cube by 8 upon summation a is 3 by 4 pi r square. If you simplify all this, it comes minus r by 6. That means x coordinate of centroid of this shaded area is not right of y-axis. It will be measured left of y-axis. But anyway, you don't need to mark it only because here the problem is to locate centroid or to find the centroid. You have to arrive at the coordinates x bar and y bar only. So in this problem, we have understood how to deal with circle. Also, we have understood how to mark the centroid of circle. That is all very clear. Also, we have learned how to, if axis symmetry is there on the composite area, then how to take it into consideration. Whenever axis symmetry can be marked on the composite area, you can assume that your half job is done. You don't need to locate both the coordinates. So I just explained to you once again, if axis symmetry coincides with x reference axis, y bar is 0. Because y bar is the distance between x reference axis and x centroidal axis. And x bar is the distance between y reference axis and y centroidal axis. Now, this is going to be my next problem. Here he is asking you to find the centroid of the plane area. He has said the plane area, and he says that this shaded area is removed area. What is the shaded area? Is removed part. That's what is given in the problem. You have to find the centroid of the plane area, which you get it after removing this shaded area. I have not written the question in full length. You can understand it is plane area means unshaded area which is there. So this shaded area this time in this problem is the removed area. Shaded area is the removed area. In this problem, you will have to split it into the simple figures. This composite area is this much. So how will you take it up? Triangle plus rectangle plus semicircle minus circle. Again, I repeat it. In this figure, composition will be what? Triangle plus semicircle plus triangle plus rectangle. Triangle plus rectangle plus semicircle minus circle. This will be my composition, right? There is no axial symmetry. You need to make a table with 6 columns. So component, area, x, y, ax, and ay. Units of the, you can see that are in meters. Here dimensions are given meters. So here area will be meter square, x and y coordinates will be in meter, ax and ay will be meter. Now this is the diagram what I have drawn it again for solution. Now here you have to identify the centroid of each component. How do you identify the centroid of this triangle? Triangle, it is right angle triangle standard figure. With respect to this base 3, height is 4. So centroidal axis will be, centroid will be parallel to it at distance of 4 by 3 meter. This can be taken as base, height is 3, so it is 3 by 3, 1 meter. In case of this rectangle of base width 3 and height, it is 3 by 2, 1.5. This is 4 by 2, 2 meter. Centroid of this circle will be at center only, right? This removed circle is of radius, this diameter of 5 strands for diameter strands. This is a very standard, you should remember it for your engineering studies. Whenever a circular body is given to you and they write 5 stands for diameter. So that means its radius is 0.75 meter. Now come to this semicircle. This semicircle, one centroidal axis will be axis of symmetry of it. Another will be at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from base. This is your base of semicircle. It is at 4r upon. This way, students, we have marked centroid of each component. Now we go to the table. In the table, this is my, now I'm not writing component 1, 2, 3. I'm just writing them with the shape and component. This is triangle. What is the area of this triangle? Half into base into height. Half into 3 into 4. You can see here. Okay. And now you have to read coordinates of this point. You have to read coordinates of centroid of triangle is this point. This point is right of y-axis. X coordinate is positive. It is at what distance from y-axis? 3 minus 1. You can see that this point is at what distance away from y-axis? This total distance is 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is what is 2 plus 2. This point is above x-axis. By what distance? 4 by 3 meters. So y coordinate is plus 4 by 3. Come to this rectangle. Area is 3 by 4. The centroid is b by 3, 3 by 2, 1.5. 4 by 2 is 2 meter. Now you have to read the coordinates of this point. This point is right of y-axis. X coordinate is positive. What is that? 3 plus 1.5, 4.5. Y coordinate of this point is to be measured. Is it above x-axis or not? What is that? Plus 2. Now we come to semicircle. Semicircle is of radius 2 meter. Area is what? Pi r square by 2 plus. Now you have to read the coordinate of this point. This point coordinate is to be read. This point is away from y-axis. What is that? 3 plus 3 plus 4r upon 3 pi. So x coordinate is positive since coordinate centroid is right of y-axis. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4r upon 3 pi. So 6 plus 4r upon 3 pi is its x coordinate of this. This point is above x-axis. Y coordinate is positive plus 2. Then we come to this circle. It's a removed area to be subtracted. So minus we are taking minus pi r square. R is what is 0.75. Now this circle coordinates are to be measured. This circle is right of y-axis. So x coordinate is positive. 3 plus 3 will be its x coordinate. This point is right of y-axis by 6 meters. So plus 6. Y coordinate, this point is above x-axis. What is that? Is plus 2. All right. Then you'll use your calculators. You'll find a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a4. You'll get summation a. Then in this is a into x, a into y. Like that, you'll be doing it for all components. This column will be giving you what? A1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3 plus a4 x4. You will get summation x. Similarly, summation of this column a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 plus a4 y4. You get summation a1. What is x bar? Summation ax upon summation a. You get x bar. Y bar is summation ay upon summation a. You get it y bar. Next problem. we are taking is this problem. In this problem, he's asking you to find the centroid of the shaded area. If I ask you to calculate the shaded area, how will you arrive at? If I ask you to calculate the shaded area, you have the only option to take it what? Square. What you will be taking it, students? This square plus semicircle minus quarter circle. What is the option here? Square plus semicircle minus quarter circle. All right. The same will be followed. There is no axisymmetry. That means you have to find x bar and y bar both. You need to make a table with 6 columns. You need to make the table with 6 column component a, x, y, ax, and ay. As dimensions are given in centimeters, so area will be in centimeter square, x will be centimeter, y is centimeter, ax is centimeter cube, ay is centimeter. Let's now we draw the diagram for the solution purpose. We'll mark centroid of various components. First, we identify square. Square is of size what? 20 centimeter. 20, half of 20 is what? Is 10, right? 10 from this end and 10 from the bottom. So b by 2, you can say that. Then we come to quarter circle. In case of the quarter circle, centroid will be at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from each base. Its centroid is here, 4r upon 3 pi from this base and 4r upon 3 pi from this base. All right. Then we come to this semicircle. In this semicircle, one centroidal axis will be this line, dividing into two parts. All right. Another is at a distance of 4r upon 3 pi from base. This is the base. This is 4r upon 3. All right. Now once we see, it is very important to mark the centroid of each component. Without marking the centroid of the component, don't go to the table and don't try to read the coordinates of virtual points. Don't try to read the coordinates of virtual points. All right. You make them points to exist. Mark the centroid of each component, then read the coordinates. Coordinates are to be read as per the rules of coordinate geometry, two-dimensional coordinate geometry, two-dimensional or rectangular coordinate system. You have to read the coordinates as per the concepts of rectangular coordinate system. Now we come to square. What is square size? 20 square. Area of the square is 20. All right. Then we come to square. Where is the centroid of square? Is here. This is the point centroid of square. This point is right of y-axis by 10, so x coordinate is plus 10. This point is above x-axis by 10, so we wrote it plus 10. Second component is quarter circle. Quarter circle area is removed area, so we'll take this area in the table as negative. What is that? Minus pi r square by 4. Then this is the centroid of quarter circle. This point is right of y-axis by what distance? 4r upon 3 pi. This is given to you as 4r upon 3 pi. R is what? 20. 4 into 20 upon 3 pi. Y coordinate is measured from x-axis, but 4r upon 3 pi is from this base. You have to measure it from x-axis. So this distance from here to here, it is at what distance above x-axis? 20 minus 4r upon 3 pi. What is that? 20 minus 4r upon 3 pi. Again, I repeat. See, centroid of quarter circle is 4r upon 3 pi from each base. From this base, 4r upon 3 pi. From this base, 4r upon 3 pi. All right. So it is 4r upon 3 pi from this base. You want to measure the distance of this point from the x-axis. So what is that going to be? 20 is a rate 20 minus 4r upon 3 pi. It is, this point is at a distance of 20 minus 4r upon 3 pi from x-axis. So that is going to be your y coordinate, 20 minus 4r upon 3 pi. To read the coordinate of a centroid of any component, you may add up, or you may have to take a bigger dimension minus smaller. That way you arrive. Next, we come to semicircle. Semicircular area is existing area. Its radius is 10. So area is pi r square by 2. Centroidal distance. This is centroid of semicircle. This point is right of y-axis. X coordinate is positive. What is that? 20 plus 4r upon 3 pi. Y coordinate is above x-axis. What distance is 10? Right? This is radius. Now you use your calculator. Then you arrive at summation a1 plus a2 plus a3. This is summation ax a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3. Summation ay a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y. X bar is going to be summation ax upon summation a. Y bar is summation ay upon summation a. This way x bar and y bar is arrived at. Students, in this chapter, you need to be little careful while doing the calculations. You need to be careful while doing the calculations. Need to be careful. You need to mark the centroid of each component. Then only you should go to the tabular working. All right. Don't try to do the calculations without any tabular working. Don't try to do any calculations without tabular working. It's always good to do the calculations in a tabular format. All right. Now, in this lecture, I have covered initial explanation of theoretical concepts, as well as I have covered 5 problems. We'll have one more lecture of centroid, where I'll be explaining to you another 7-8 more problems will be explained, so that you are absolutely clear with the concepts of solving problems. As far as theory is concerned, certain derivations like centroid triangle is at 1/3 of its height from the base, or semicircle 4r upon 3 pi from base, quarter circle 4r upon 3 pi from base. All these derivations are given in my book, right? You can refer to my book, which is available on Amazon. It is the link is given in the description of of every video lecture. Please make sure that you are referring to the book for more solved problems, as well as all problems have been taken from my book only. All right, which are given solved. It is I have explained only selected now problems are being explained. Book contains many more solved problems. There are some unsolved problems for practice. All the derivations which I have not covered in my lecture right now are also given in the book. Even multiple choice questions are also given in the book in every chapter, as you may have the online examination in which multiple choice questions may also be there. So make sure that you refer to the book and get benefited from it. And if you are ordering from Amazon, you get the free delivery. All right, book is also available in the local bookstores also. Okay, thank you.